Ladies and gentlemen, in today's video, I am giving you the opportunity to give me your bold SummerSlam 2025 predictions. I do these videos a week before every major WWE Premium Live event, so if you want to be able to submit your predictions for Clash in the Castle next month, make sure that you're following me over on X. I grabbed about 20 or so of your predictions, so we're gonna talk about them, roast them, and see whether I agree or not. As always, don't forget to subscribe to this channel, ring the bell for notifications. If you're a wrestling fan, I know that you're gonna fall in love with his YouTube channel because we always upload daily wrestling content. And by the way, if you are looking for more than just the daily wrestling content that we upload here on this channel, make sure to come over to patreon.com/SantiZap, where you're gonna get also daily content over there of videos that we can never upload here because we use real footage over there, and that stuff would just get blocked here due to copyright. So go check it out, link in the description or a link in the pinned comment. All right, folks, let's see what you guys sent in. CM Punk wins in the main event of night one. He gets mugged by the Bronze, then Burn It Down hits. Seth in crutches comes down to the ring, then stomps him, tosses the crutches aside, and cashes in. Ladies and gentlemen, that right there would be the greatest cash-in in the history of the WWE. It's right there. If WWE can do it, oh my God, they absolutely 100% should. This obviously all entirely hinges on whether or not Seth Rollins is actually injured. I am betting on the side that he is, and thus I don't think that this is going to happen. But hell, even if he is injured, I don't hate the idea of an actual in real life hobbled Seth Rollins still manages to cash in and uses his muscle with B&B security to be able to pick up the victory regardless of the injury. Because if there is a champion that I'm willing to forgive for being absent because they're rehabbing an injury, it's Seth Rollins. I'm willing to live without having a world heavyweight champion on screen on a weekly basis if it means having a generational levels of cash in done at SummerSlam. This would genuinely be the most petty, most hilarious cash-in of all time, and if WWE can do it, oh my God, I hope that they do. And this is coming from a huge CM Punk fan, somebody that wants to see CM Punk as world champion. I still believe that Seth Rollins cashing in on him and making good on the promise that as long as CM Punk is in the WWE and so is Seth Rollins, he will never win a world championship. That would easily make Seth Rollins the most professional level hater in the history of the WWE, and I'm here for this. Gunther beats Punk, and then his music hits. Listen, if you've been watching WWE over the last couple of weeks, it is undeniable that WWE is dropping a ton of Brock Lesnar references, more than they've have dropped over the last year and a bit since he's really been blackballed from WWE. They've also brought back his merch apparently, and I know that a lot of people are talking about him potentially being Paul Heyman's plan B so that the faction can still continue with B&B and B security. Then there's also the whole conversation happening after the comments from Daniel Cormier saying that Brock Lesnar is in a lot of trouble and that he's banned from working with TKO until everything with the Vince McMahon lawsuit is completely done with. And then there's also Triple H saying that he's open to the idea of bringing Brock Lesnar back. So this has to be at the very least something that WWE might be considering for SummerSlam. I'm of the mind that I don't think that we need Brock Lesnar in the year 2025. I feel like we have evolved past needing a Brock Lesnar. We basically already have a Brock Lesnar type in terms of its part-time schedule in Roman Reigns, who is a bigger draw than Brock Lesnar, if you ask me. So to have two like super big part-time stars, I don't think that we need that today. But if he does come back, I kind of like your idea of him coming back to face off against Gunther because the initial match that people were really fantasy booking during the end of Gunther's Intercontinental Championship reign was a match against Brock Lesnar. In fact, I vividly remember all of us being upset that they ended up doing Brock Lesnar versus Omos at WrestleMania 39 and not the dream match against Gunther that so many people wanted. But I would have to say that I think that the likelihood of this happening is pretty low. Ricky Sainz debuts in Seth's faction. So yes, the question of Plan B, and many of us just assume that Plan B is just adding another member to the group. I think Ricky Sainz would be an awesome addition. I do think that it's not impossible. It's funny that many of us were kind of pegging it to be Ethan Page, but Ethan Page retained his North American title. Meanwhile, Ricky Sainz seems to maybe potentially be done with NXT here. So maybe a next step here for Ricky Sainz, who was already main roster ready the second that he stepped into NXT. It might be debuting at SummerSlam, joining Seth's faction. It's not impossible. Again, I also think it's unlikely. I think that WWE is, if anything, more likely to include include somebody in the faction that the main roster fans already know. But then again, like I said, nothing is impossible. Fellas, one of the worst feelings when traveling is landing in a new country, turning on your phone, and realizing that you have no data. No Wi-Fi, no directions, no way to message anyone. I've been there, stuck outside of an airport trying to find a SIM card booth or avoiding those sketchy SIM card sellers near the train station. I speak from experience. That's why I'm being passionate about this one. That's why now I use Saily. Saily is a super simple eSIM app that keeps you connected in over 200 destinations around the world. No physical SIM card needed. Once you download the app and install the eSIM once, you're just good to go. No need to go get a new SIM card for every country. You just choose your data plan and it activates as soon as you land. It's genuinely an amazing product. Whether you're bouncing between countries or just visiting one, you can pick regional or global plans that actually save you money. No outrageous roaming fees. Last time I was in Colombia, I got hit with like $300 in roaming fees. Plus, Saily includes features like web protection and ad blockers to save data, and it even lets you change your virtual location for more secure browsing. So if you're traveling soon, don't wait in the line at the airport. Download the Saily app right now and use my code SANTIZAP at checkout for an exclusive 15% discount on any eSIM plan. Or just head to saily.com/SantiZap. That link is also in the description of this video or in the pinned comment. Stay connected, stay safe, travel smart with Saily. Thanks to Saily for sponsoring today's video. Now let's get you back to the wrestling that you came for. I can see Jacob getting help in his match against Solo when the MFT try to get involved. Jimmy will come out first, and then out of nowhere, Zilla Fatu comes to save the day, and Jacob wins the belt. We are getting closer, like taking little baby steps towards having Zilla Fatu in the WWE. The man is older, more mature. I know people were asking for Zilla Fatu as early as like 2 years ago, but I thought that he was too young and still needed more seasoning then. But now he's appearing in TNA Slammiversary and got a giant ovation from the 7,000 plus in attendance. I think it's an inevitability. So long as Zilla Fatu can continue to stay out of trouble, continue to deliver in the independent scene, I think that we will get Zilla Fatu and Jacob Fatu joining forces at some point in the WWE, and it could potentially be within the next 12 months. But I think that Zilla Fatu still has a good amount of work still to be done in the independent circuit, that I don't think that a debut at SummerSlam is in the books, but maybe next year's SummerSlam could be something realistic. But now the conversation of when will Zilla Fatu debut in the WWE, now we need to have those conversations a little bit more seriously now, because I always kind of like shoved them off to the side when they were happening a year and 2 years ago. But now I think that pretty much anytime that you have a major bloodline or MFT match, you might want to consider Zilla Fatu appearing as a possibility. Cody will win the title with help from The Rock, and we will see a double turn. The elusive double turn that so many people are fantasy booking right now. I am a firm believer that when Cody turns heel, it should be with The Rock there, not with Travis Scott. Oh dear God, please do not bring back Travis Scott for anything ever again. But I think honestly, The Rock needs to redeem himself with everything that he left hanging after Bad Blood, going into WrestleMania 41 after Elimination Chamber. The Rock needs to make good with the fans, and he needs to finally pay off one of the major storylines that he's been playing into as we went into the lead up to WrestleMania 40 and even after WrestleMania 40, and that is trying to get Cody Rhodes' soul. If it does happen, if we do get a heel Cody, I actually weirdly, I can't believe I'm saying this, I hope it's with The Rock there. Mostly because I just don't like hanging storylines that don't get paid off. Maybe we can just get this over and done with and check off the fact that we finally paid off the story with The Rock, and then we can finally move on with our lives. Jelly Roll will be a very good in-ring competitor. From what I've heard, he's been training loads. His emotions look and feel real. He's also in-ring with top competitors. He will impress a lot of people. Look, all of the resources that this guy's been given in the name of Randy Orton, Drew McIntyre, and Logan Paul, he better have a good performance, because if he doesn't, a lot of people are going to bring into question the decision to invest so much in a Jelly Roll match. I am being optimistic, mostly because for the most part, again, not including Travis Scott, I really like celebrity involvements in the WWE, and more often than not, they end up being a tremendous amount of fun, and I think that this is going to be a lot of fun as well. I would be lying if I wasn't, morbidly curious as to what Jelly Roll could potentially do in the ring. I have like these crazy visions of him doing a shooting star press in the middle of the match. match. But I think he will deliver. I think that he will give us a nasty chokeslam, probably through a Slim Jim table. Baby faces will celebrate and we'll be able to move on. Wyatt 6 help Alexa win the tag titles. If this does happen, I would anticipate that it wouldn't be the entirety of the Wyatt 6. I would think it might just be Nikki Cross. Of course, the history that Nikki Cross and Alexa Bliss have directly, but then also the history of the Wyatt 6 and the Wyatt legacy with Alexa Bliss as well. I guess I could see it. If anything, maybe I could see it a little bit further down the line when Alexa Bliss, maybe she turns heel on Charlotte Flair. Many of us are just sort of defaulting to Charlotte Flair turning on Alexa. What if Alexa turns on Charlotte and it's because of maybe some sort of mental spooky wooky manipulation from the Wyatt 6 and we get evil Alexa Bliss back again? I don't think that'll happen here at SummerSlam. I think the story has to be them winning, being the unlikely allies, and then maybe further down the line when you do the inevitable breakup storyline, maybe the Wyatt 6 can factor in there. I feel like we will get some sort of Liv Morgan return. Maybe it's during Dom and AJ, or most likely between Roxanne and Rodriguez's match. This could help elevate this story a bit more about Roxanne essentially replacing Liv in the Judgment Day. I would love to get some sort of Liv Morgan edition here at SummerSlam, either in the Dom match or in the Women's Tag Team Championship match. Either of those sound perfect to me. But you got Liv Morgan, who's super popular. It's in her home state. It's SummerSlam, and people just want to see Liv Morgan come back. I would love to see her be an on-screen character without necessarily having to get physical. Of course, I'm sure traveling with an injury and rehab can be super annoying, but if we can get a little bit of Liv Morgan, I think we'll all be better for it. No overbooking, no shenanigans. Gunther wins clean and no one cashes in or attacks either Punk or Gunther. Instead, a new feud would start on Gunther's celebration/speech on Raw. I can't believe I'm saying this, but I actually want this to be true. I want this to be just a pure wrestling match. WWE has been relying a little bit too much on main event matches turning into bloodline rules ever since WrestleMania 40. Everything devolves into crazy shenanigans, multiple people interfering. But what about just having a good old wrestling match to truly determine who is the best in the world? It's right there. Gunther believes that he's the best professional wrestler on God's green earth, and CM Punk believes that he's the best in the world. Like, it's just perfect. Like, just have a good old classic wrestling match, and whoever wins gets to go around saying that they're the best in the world. Obviously, the shenanigans are very likely to happen when it comes to a WWE main event nowadays. The only shenanigans that I would genuinely be cool with, and I already talked about earlier in this video, would be a Seth Rollins cash-in. If it's not a Seth Rollins cash-in, I don't want anything else interfering with this match. I just want good old-fashioned graps between these two. This is just me being hopeful, but AJ Lee returns with Paige during the tag team match with Charlotte and Bliss versus Roxanne and Raquel. If this were to happen, this would be like WWE's biggest seal of approval that they are trying to make the women's tag team division actually be relevant. You say you're being hopeful. I think that you're being far more than hopeful. I just don't think that this is at all in the cards. If it didn't happen at Evolution, I think that there's quite literally a 0% chance that this happens at SummerSlam. Stephanie Vaka appears in the triple threat match. That would be such a confidence vote for her. I hope you don't mean like being added to the match. I don't think that that's going to happen. I don't think it's going to be turned into a fatal four-way or anything like that. Maybe we get Stephanie in a match with the Bellas. I don't know what they're planning on doing there, but I think it would be kind of cool to have Stephanie Vaka, who has a championship opportunity at the following pay-per-view, to maybe be watching at ringside, not be in commentary, but be sitting right beside the commentary table just to let us know, hey, this is the what's next for the champion, and just kind of giving her more of a spotlight. If you're not going to give her a match, at the very least, give her some shine on the PLE in some capacity. Jade Cargill beats Tiffany, and Naomi retains, setting up a triple threat between Naomi, Bianca, and Jade. Oh man, are you suggesting that the big three triple threat be for both women's world titles? I don't like that. I love the idea of the big three triple threat. To me, that is a tailor-made WrestleMania match. But if I'm being honest with you, that match right there has so much story, so much beef, so much oomph behind it that it doesn't need a title at all. In fact, by the time that this triple threat match inevitably happens, I hope everyone has lost their titles. In fact, I hope that they've lost their titles because of their hatred with each other, which could just help build and compound to an even bigger WrestleMania match between the three. But no, I do not want a title unification match or champion versus champion. Like I actually said in a previous video, I don't don't want Naomi and Jade Cargill to both be champions come Crown Jewel, because I don't want to see them face off again in the Crown Jewel Championship match, because the next time that I want to see Jade and Naomi is in the Big Three triple threat. They book a tag match, Roman and Jay versus Braun and Bronson, and Jay turns on Roman and becomes the leader of the Vision, and they somehow put the Money in the Bank on Jay. Oof. Okay. Yeah. This one takes the cake for the worst one out of all of them. Yeah, I'm assuming we're going to get the tag match. It hasn't been confirmed, at least as of the making of this video. I'm pre-recording this a few days early because my editor is going on vacation. But in what world does this make sense? I don't actually hate the idea of Jey Uso maybe actually like turning on Roman. Let's not forget that there's still a lot of bad blood there. Roman Reigns has never actually apologized to Jey Uso. But then for him to turn and then join Seth Rollins in the Bronze, and then he just magically becomes Money in the Bank, Mr. Money in the Bank, that makes absolutely no sense. Cody Rhodes turns heel by taking over Seth's faction. It's revealed Paul helped Cody get the street fight clause into the contract, and Braun and Bronson will come out and beat up Cena when it's revealed by them helping up Cody, and the beatdown starts. Dude, this is actually like kind of insane. I don't know if I love this or hate this, but this would actually be crazy. Mostly because you could easily tie this back to that one episode of Friday Night SmackDown where Seth Rollins was whispering something in Cody Rhodes' ear. We don't yet know what that was, but imagine if it was this. Again, I don't want to say that I hate this or I love this, but this would be a ground shifting, a monumental way to turn Cody Rhodes heel. And it would be a way to supplement Seth Rollins being gone for the next 7-8 months, whatever he's scheduled to be gone for. Again, I don't know whether I hate this or I love this. I'm actually going to leave this in the comments section. What do you guys think? Trick costs AJ the match against Dominic, which sets up Trick versus AJ for the TNA World Championship. Listen, I love the idea of AJ Styles getting a match in TNA. If anything, I wanted to be for like the X Division title against Leon Slater. That's the title that's more synonymous with AJ Styles from his time in TNA. I really do not want WWE guy versus WWE guy for the TNA title. I feel like there always needs to be a proper TNA guy representing TNA. I know that AJ Styles is basically a full-blooded TNA, but he's signed to the WWE. I just don't think that this can work or that they should do this. Hear me out, but it would be cool to see Stephanie Vaka, Nikki Bella, and Lola Vice team up against Chelsea and the Secret Hervis. All three women have some sort of history together now, and it would be a great way to give Lola Vice a rub at SummerSlam. I don't know how you can really make it make sense. I know that Lola and Stephanie Vaka have the history from like the one time that they tagged at Worlds Collide, and I know that Lola Vice and Nikki Bella did the little twirl dance in the Battle Royal, but I don't know that that's enough to warrant giving Lola Vice, an NXT person, a full-blown SummerSlam debut, brother. I do think that there is a possibility that we could get Stephanie Vaka and Nikki Bella teaming up, and I do think that there is still room for that extra third person to maybe come in, because obviously Secret Hervis and Chelsea Green is 3, and Stephanie Vaka and Nikki Bella are only 2. Obviously, the first one that comes to mind is Brie Bella, but I don't think anybody is expecting that. Maybe like a Trish Stratus, I don't know. But I do think that we're going to find out maybe as early as Friday Night SmackDown if this match or this story even has legs for SummerSlam. SummerSlam ends with this. No turn, no crazy shenanigans, just one guy beating the other. Bit boring, I know, but I just can't see a heel turn this early, a face turn or more likely. I don't agree. I don't agree. John Cena's matches so far, the more overbooked they are, the better they've been, and I think that this is going to be an overbooked mess, and the street fight stipulation allows for this to be an overbooked mess without having to rely on the good old classic ref bump. I think you're going to see a handful of people getting involved in this match, everyone that John Cena has beaten, conquered, trying to help save the WWE, maybe The Rock, Seth Rollins. Like, I really think that this match is going to end up being a who's who of the main event scene. This is just going to be bloodline rules, I think. Ilia returns. I know the prediction is sometime in September, but damn it, I miss that dude. I think it'd be cool, but if anything, I think it'd be even better for him to return the Monday Night Raw or Friday Night SmackDown after SummerSlam and build something cool for him, whether it's a mid-card title or maybe a world title opportunity at Clash in Paris. I feel like that, to me, is the best way to reintroduce Ilya Dragunov, because right now, off the top of my head, I don't know where you logically insert him and where he would return at SummerSlam. Maybe if Gunther retains and Gunther is celebrating on Monday, and then boom, out comes Ilya, one of the few people that has has actually been able to take Gunther out. I think Bianca Belair makes herself known in this triple threat, embracing Naomi and becoming heel. Yeah, no, I don't see that. I don't think it's an impossibility that Bianca Belair could at some point turn heel. I think at this point, I've been convinced if John Cena can turn heel, literally anyone and everyone can potentially turn heel, even Bianca Belair, as popular as she is as a babyface. But I don't want anything in this match. If anything, this is a match that just needs to be good old pure wrestling. You can, of course, have shenanigans because it is a triple threat, and you can have weapons and cheating and whatnot, but I don't want anyone getting involved in this match. I just want to see who is the best out of these three, and the winner comes out as the champion. I think that we need to just save Bianca Belair's return, like proper return, for whenever she is fully in-ring ready to go, because when she comes back, I don't want her to be buds with Naomi. I want her to gun after Naomi's world championship. Bianca costs Jade the title. There was some heel there when she raised her arm at Evolution. I don't think that was like a heel look. I think this is a concerned friend that still has feelings for both of the people that just tried to murder each other in that street fight. This would be kind of crazy, actually, and honestly, I kind of like this a little bit more than her interfering and becoming heel and joining Naomi. I would like the idea if you are going to pull the trigger on Bianca Belair turning heel, I prefer it here, and because it allows us to run this feud while keeping the title on Tiffany Stratton at the same time, while not, affecting the momentum of Naomi's current world championship reign. Finn Balor and JD McDonough versus LWO will be on SummerSlam or some variation of that match. I mean, listen, I don't care if the match gets on SummerSlam, but I will absolutely write a strongly worded letter to Triple H if this tag match makes it on SummerSlam over whatever they could possibly do with the SmackDown tag team division. They cannot do that again. It was a huge blunder at WrestleMania, and I think it would be a huge disservice for them to do it at back-to-back major shows. Becky retains against Lyra since she isn't quite ready yet, and it would help elevate the IC title further, perhaps saving the IC title for someone else. I disagree. I think that someone else is the person that they've been building this entire time. That's someone that kind of went from like, okay, yeah, she's a good wrestler, but she doesn't connect with the fans, to now somebody that absolutely connects with the fans, is a crowd favorite, and hell, is probably ready for a main event push somewhere down the line, Lyra Valkyria. The whole point of this is to make Lyra Valkyria into a next star in the WWE, and you've done it. You've accomplished it. And now the way to really put a cherry on top of it is to have Lyra go over the Hall of Famer Becky Lynch. Charlotte turns on Alexa Bliss. Their chemistry right now is too good not to run with it into Paris. See, I think you can run with it into Paris, but you can use that chemistry and run into it into Paris and all the other future PLEs with them as a tag team. I think that they are more valuable right now as a tag team than having a feud right now in the middle of the year when WWE viewership starts to decline. If anything, I would say whenever they do decide to do the heel turn of whoever it might be, Charlotte turning or Alexa turning, I think that this could have legs to maybe be a WrestleMania match if the turn is heart-wrenching enough. But to make it heart-wrenching, you need to make us fall in love with them as a tag team first. So no, I don't think that this happens. Fiend. No, I'm done. The video's over. You ruined it. Anytime Travis Scott makes an appearance, I'm ending the video. Okay, goodbye. Get out of here.